This session is about what exactly is numerology. Numerology is a science which is based on the philosophy, psychology of the symbols based on the names, dates, and the numbers of the names and dates. Um, the numerology that you will learn with me today is based on the science or analysis by the Western philosopher Pythagoras. Vedic, Chinese, all these numerologies are very similar but quite different, a little different from each other. There is Kabbalistic numerology, there is Pythagorean numerology. Here today we are going to learn Pythagorean because I have learned Pythagorean. And although I did read about the Kabbalah, but I did not relate much with it because it does not have number 9 to begin with. It has only 8 numbers. And the sequence of numbers has 1 to 9. It starts again from 1 after 9. So I related more to this. Secondly, I noticed that a lot of people who have changed their name based on the Kabbalah, it didn't really work for them. This is my observation. I may be wrong, but for as far as I am concerned, for me, I don't think it works. For people, if it works, well and good. Good for them. Now, I will read out my notes, which my teacher gave me. And honestly, मैंने उसे याद करने I did not bother to remember because it's history. What I'm interested in here is practical application of numerology. So I did not bother to mug up, so I will simply read it out to you. Pythagoras said God geometrizes. If you have seen my recent video 2 days back with Mr. Praveen Bhatia, he said that everything in the universe is geometry and it is created with geometry. And everything has a geometrical shape and a musical frequency behind it. There is a musical frequency and there is a geometrical shape to it. Every musical frequency has a different geometrical shape. So, coming back to numerology, God geometrizes. Pythagoras was a philosopher and mathematician of ancient Europe and greatly accepted as the founder of the science of numbers. He was born in 590 BC. I don't think all this is necessary, and grew up in a very spiritual environment where he learned the lesson of meditation and developed a great love of the stars. Now, when we say great love of the stars, stars are also aligned in a particular manner to create the shapes or constellations of zodiac signs. So, again, that is geometry and it is deeply connected to astrology. He established a school of learning at Crotona, where for nearly 40 years he taught his pupils. Now, what does his teachings say? Crotona must be somewhere in Spain, I gather, or in Italy. His teachings, the two phases to his teachings were the science of numbers and the theory of magnitude. The first division included two branches, arithmetic and musical harmony. Like I said, frequency of music. The second, the geometry and magnitude in motion or astronomy. Astrology aa gayi? Pythagoras taught his students an exact mathematical precision. The principles governing the numbers were understood to be the principles of real existence. The elements of numbers were the elements of realities. His instructions were given according to the law of mathematics, and this relationship of numbers to experience is the divine law, the foundation of the modern system of analysis called numerology. Now, what all does numerology include? Since humans started talking in syllables and formed languages, so earlier humans used to only talk telepathically in the form of images. But after they started talking, every word you speak, every alphabet of that word, every number, ev- everything is aligned, it is synchronistically aligned, and every alphabet has a number, and every number has a frequency which is aligned with certain planets and musical frequencies. So लोग कहते हैं ना कि change your name, change the spelling of your name. So Ginni, Gin, people call me Ginni, which is actually not right. It is Ginni. Ginni is my spelling. Some people pronounce it as Gini, and some people spell it as Ginnny or Giny. Now, those who pronounce it as Ginni totally change the meaning to Jini or Jiny, Ginny or Jinnie. So, unless and until, so if somebody were to tell me, oh, your name is Ginny, so there was one female who was learning numerology. This is much before I learned numerology. This is about like 20 years back. And she told me, you should be spelling your name as Gwinniyh. Okay. And of course, Aneja, to it was totally another spelling. Now, if somebody were to spell my name in any manner, it would not make a difference, because at the end of the day, you're going to call me Ginny. So, if you want to change your vibration, you need to change the vibration of your name, the musical vibration. And how will you change the musical vibration? You change the name totally. So it could be Binny, it could be Bimmy, it could be uh, Dinny, that Dimmy, or something like that, Diggy, Dugu, anything else. Roshni, Kashish, Kanchan, Kavita, Pallavi, Priyanka, anything else but anything that sounds like Guinea. It should not sound like Guinea because it is the frequency. So people who go to spending thousands going to big numerologists and changing the name by adding one A and one B and one E or I or U, the basic of the name is the same. When some people are pronouncing your name, it is going to be exactly what it used to be earlier. So the frequency of sound hasn't not changed. And this numerology is an alignment of geometry and music, musical frequency and arithmetic. So the musical frequency, that means the sound that vibration creates, needs to change. Okay? Some numerologists feel that the field can be tracked back over 10,000 years. Vedic numerology bhi hai, which is much before all these 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years. It was something like maybe 10,000, 20,000 years ago. Uh, the old Hebrew Kabbalah, for instance, deals with the subject. Records of many ancient alphabets have been found dating as far back as 2400 BC. That is approximately 6,000 years ago, six and a half thousand years ago. Wasn't that something approximately when a little before, I think, when, no, 11,000. That was around the time that Ra came visiting Earth. I think so. The Egyptians are credited, there you go, with the origin of the alphabet, but was slow in the use of it as it had little practical value. Why? Because everything was written in symbols by Ra. They called him Ra because of the symbolic whatever structure, and they gave it a name. But Ra may have had I don't think Ra and everybody, all these extraterrestrial societies have names. They use these names only for our convenience. Anyway, coming back to this, the Egyptians are credited with the origin of the alphabet but were slow in the use of it as it had little practical value. Some historians gave ancient Syria credit as being the ancestor of the alphabet, as excavations in the region of Mount Sinai show that the children of Israel used a system of alphabet writing. In Vedic also they used a, e. Now, writing Hindi or writing in Hindi is much safer than in English, because English uses spellings. It creates a spell. Hindi or Sanskrit or Devanagari script is not spellings. The Phoenicians added many signs and symbols to advance its usefulness. Phoenicians means phonetics. We use phonetics. A is A, B is Ba, C is Ka, D is Da. That is phonetics. So, the Phoenicians, I'll tell you how phonetics is explained without using alphabets. A, B, brain, B. C, C, K, K. The English people, for to use phonetics, do these also, but it's K. D is D, D. E for F is F. G is used as go. G, go, G, G. For people who cannot speak, this is a language which can be used. Who can say uh, uh, the what is that called? A E I O U. Okay, my memory fails me. So happens sometimes. Signs of so well so people who can say the A E I O U or um, so the rest of the consonants are said like this, and A E I O U is said with the throat. So D F G H hai or h, h, hum is also a sound of a chakra, if you remember. I think it is the sound of uh, the throat, I guess. याद नहीं है है ह I I I J jaw K is kick. K, so you kick your leg, or just move your leg. So k, k. Okay. L L or this. M N N O M is M, N is nose. N O O P pinch. P, P. Q is this. So you're forming a circle, something like this. Okay, this is Q. So you do this. Q. 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 R is ear. R. S. Eyes. C. You see with your eyes. So S. S. There is no sh. in English language? Um, ST. T is teeth. T. Teeth. T. U. V. W. X. Y. Y. I think this was Y. And Z. 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 Something like that. This is the phonetics of the English alphabets, but phonetics is a science, and phonetics is what is most important in numerology about how you spell your name. Now, for example, there could be a name from SH. There is no alphabet for SH. There is no alphabet for DH, or there is no alphabet for TH. There's no single alphabet. So in probably in another language, in Hindi, you may have a single alphabet, but not in English. So it makes a big difference. That is the reason Vedic numerology is supposed to be very deep and very old. But well, here we are learning Western because I learned Western. And so the alphabet. Some numerologists feel, now, why did I say all this to you? Why did I take up all this time? You will understand. Some numerologists feel that the field can be traced back over, okay, the Egyptians, Syrians, phonetics. Phoenicians may added many signs and symbols to advance its usefulness. They introduced it to the Greeks who put it in a more artistic form. Later, the Romans introduced the capitals. As the alphabet traveled from nation to nation and down through the ages, many changes were made and new symbols were added till it reached our present day alphabet of 26 letters. In certain languages, they don't have 26, some have 28, some have 24. The numbers are commonly designated as being of Arabic origin. Arabic origin, English, Roman, Greek, Arabic. Modern numerology, Mrs. D. L. Doe Ballier of Atlantic City is the authority for the modern method of relating names, numbers, and vibrations. She gave the world a spiritual and practical system of applying numerical symbols to the analysis of character. Now, how do you use numerology? Using numerology with its symbol lessons scientifically reveals in what grades we stand as human beings and opens a door through which we can move from good to better and on to best. In what grades we stand as human beings. So, Law of One, the people who have seen Law of One, they will understand what grading means as human beings. So, what grade are you at, and how do you improve your grade? It helps us to live our everyday life as masters and not slaves. Free will. Using numerology, you can discover a person's strengths and weaknesses, deep inner needs, emotional reactions, ways of dealing with others, talents. You can help yourself by becoming aware of your own character and learning to understand and deal with others, family, friends, lovers, employers, and employees. HR people, if the government doesn't allow you to use astrology and numerology, but I don't know why there is a law against that, because these are one of the sciences that can really help a great deal in the earlier times. If you marry a person only after matching your kundali, why cannot you hire a person based on their kundali? I fail to understand that. And why does government have a law against that? Why? I mean, a person is paying to hire someone, it is his discretion whether he wants to use it or not. So, legally, you cannot use it. But if a person were to keep somebody for work, for example, if I were to keep an assistant, I would probably like to see that person's chart, make that person's chart, know that person's details, because I know where we both would be aligned. If I am teaching him to go south and he is going north, it doesn't work for me. So I would probably like to hire somebody who understands what south means when I say south, right? Okay. Other than that, when I know that a person's strength is art and not organization or not artificial intelligence, why would I ask that person to make PPTs for me? I would ask that person to draw on my wall rather, because he would suck at making PPTs or doing anything which is related to artificial intelligence. That person would probably not do well as a graphic designer as well. So talents is another thing which is very important. These talents, some of them are not just what you are born with, but what you come with from your previous lives. Something that you have been doing in many of your previous lives and you've become a master at it. You can find out what kind of potential, energy, and what type of stress are currently existing in your life and the lives of those about you. You can determine the best times to marry, change jobs, move, speculate, and take a trip. Because according to your chart, if you are meant to stay at home, there is no way that you will try to go for a trip and you'll be able to. You'll end up with some blockage or some issue. How is all this information derived? In the occult field, observers have found correlations between certain clearly observable phenomena and the inner workings of people. In other words, the universe seems to have provided many keys. People think, oh, my number is this. My number is 6 because I'm born on the 6th of June. There are many keys. Which, when understood, provide superb tools for the understanding of human nature. How does numerology work? Everything in the universe vibrates, like I said, sound system. By using numbers in the forms of metaphysical arithmetic, we apply these vibrations as numbers to people, their names, their lives. This is not to make fun of anyone, but if you were to say that, okay, my name is Venkatraman Subramanyam, blah 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 Swami, that would bring a lot of respect for the person. The first picture would be a very intelligent person, at least for me it is, and a very logical and a practical person. But if you were to say somebody like Dolly, what is the first picture that comes to your mind? Cute little, sweet little Dolly, Pinky. The vibration of the name, the musical tone of the name. I mean, a lot of times I have thought about changing my name, Ginni, because it's such a short name and such a sweet name, and it's like people give it a lot of meanings, but it means gold coin. So I thought about changing it a lot of times, that kuch aisa bhari bharkam naam rakhu. That is the reason a lot of people feel so close to me and yet don't take me seriously also. Some people. But they're loss anyway. So, in the occult fields, observers have found correlations between certain clearly observable phenomena and the inner workings of people. In other words, the universe seems to have provided many keys which, when understood, provide superb tools for the understanding of human nature. Everything in the universe vibrates, and by using numbers in the form of metaphysical arithmetic, we apply these vibrations as numbers to people, their names, and their lives. Each number is a symbol that represents certain qualities. Symbol 6, uh, 3 will be 1 and ulta like this, 3 and 3. 2 will be like this, 1 is like this, 4 is like this. So all these symbols are given because there is a reason behind those symbols. 0 is like this because it starts from somewhere and it ends at the same place, and it goes on and on and on in infinity. And when you turn this 0 to like this, it becomes infinity symbol, and if you turn it around, it becomes an 8. um Each number is a symbol that represents certain qualities. This is what this ancient belief or science is based upon. The vibrations in trying to relate ourselves to life as we find it, we must discover how to play harmonious instead of discord. Like I said, that I would rather be have a person working as my assistant where we are in harmony rather than be at discord. We must therefore take our place in the cosmic orchestra. Cosmic orchestra. If we are to find full expression in living, we must learn how to bring out the harmonies of the inner self. Harmonies of the inner self. How to take it out, how to work on it, how to um, make our grades vibrate on a higher note. The clue to this we find in the world around us, for if we pause long enough to sense and feel it, we discover vibration. As the vibrations of the earth increase at a rapid rate, we must vibrate at an equal pace. We already know about this. And the only way to do this is to work with the vibrations rather than against them. So, if the vibration is taking you higher and you are getting absorbed in the 3D realm, God help you. Taking our place in the midst and the traveling at the rate that belongs to each one of us individually. So, there is one is collective, but there is also individual. So, what would be collective? Collective would be under the name of Indians or India, people who live inside India. They would have the vibration of India. People who live, for example, in the city or country, state of Uttarakhand would have the vibration of Uttarakhand. Those who live in the city of Mumbai, sadly, it was Bombay, and that was a beautiful vibration. And they turned it to Mumbai, which I think needs to be turned back to Bombay, but I know no one's going to listen. They will carry the vibration of Mumbai. Want as you may as much, your country, state, city vibration will affect you. You live in a building, the building's vibration, name of the building vibration will affect you. You live in a home, the flat number vibration will affect you. If you have a name plate outside your door, if you've messed it up, that nameplate vibration will affect you. That may not be your name, it may be your husband's name, your father's name, your brother's name. It's going to affect you. Your surname vibration affects the whole family. What simply affects personally you is your name and your date of birth. We are all affected by the vibrations that govern the universe, for we are all a part of it. As a part of the whole, we are affected by every change in the universal rate of vibration. And the rate changes every time there appears a different number in a year, month, and date. But because, and of course, the century, but because we are individuals, we also have a rate of our own. The universal vibration is like a stage set for a play. We may read the whole play, but we memorize only the lines of our own role. Well, as a soul contract, God has, or the universe has, given us a role to play, and we are playing that role. If we miss our cues or step out of our character, it takes us all the more longer to play our part. What does it mean by miss our cues and step out of our character? You are generally a very sweet person, but because somebody in front of you insists on playing the asshole, to some point, uh, you will have to tap into the negative vibration of your number to handle that negativity. But that is not you. You generally are very sweet, but that person just refuses to relent, refuses to behave. So you are tapping into your own energy, but the negative side of the energy, or you are behaving out of your character, something that you are not, probably, generally in life, but you're doing it. Why? Because the need of the hour. Also, when you say stepping out of character, this is in relationships. It'll show up as health issues, it'll show up as financial or material issues. You are meant to go on a certain path in a certain manner on a specific vehicle, but you were supposed to stop at so and so stops, but you didn't do that. Instead of taking that train, you took the bus, went this way, stopped in places you were not supposed to stop, or did not stop in places where you were supposed to stop, even on that route. Obviously, you are going to have issues. You want to go to Africa, instead of taking a flight or going by road through via Pakistan, Afghanistan, Middle East, and all, you decide to swim. What happens? You know what happens. I don't need to say it. Finding your own numbers gives you the chance to take your place in the world and keep it. The vibrations that belong to the individual, that is you, are much more personal and vital than those of your years, months, and days. These vibrations are determined by your given name at birth and the day, month, and year when you were born. Yes, the time is also important to some extent. Some people consider it, some people don't. Like, for example, in Vedic, I believe they do consider it. In Pythagorean, they don't. I am not sure about Kabbalah. But now people generally ask me when they say, "Oh, I know my name and I know my date of birth. Please write it down and do my numerology chart." Your parents named you Ginni at birth. But when they went to make your birth certificate, they decided, no, no, we can't have this name in school. So, okay, let's name her something else. So, Kavita Oberoi or whatever, Aneja, whatever. You are not aware of that. You've not seen your birth certificate. Or you don't even know, maybe you don't have a birth certificate, but you don't know that from birth they had named you, you know, uh, Guinea. And they've been calling you Guinea at home for the rest of your life. You know that in school you have been using the name Kavita Aneja or Kashish Oberoi or whatever. So you are only aware of that name and you are giving me that name, but your destiny was already written as Ginni. Now, so this I was told by my teacher. How true it is? No clue. Apparently, Oprah, that chick, when she was born, her mother was very poor, and when she went to make the birth certificate of the child, the person who was sitting there to write the birth certificate made a spelling error. He made a mistake. One word behind instead of in the front. Okay, I think it was Oprah or was it Gwyneth Paltrow? I'm not very sure. So the name was something like GWY, whereas the man made a mistake of GYW, something like that. And because of that, the child, I think it was GWY, but there was a shift in the Y and the W. And the first alphabet was G. And what happened is, because of that, at birth, the girl was orphaned. Her mother died. Number two, she went through a lot of child abuse, sexual abuse. Lot of it. What happened later is another story. How it happened is another story. But one alphabet wrongly placed can change your destiny. Now, for example, I know that my name is Ginni and I'm using it as Ginni, but maybe the person who wrote my birth certificate wrote Genny, and I'm not aware because I've been using it as Ginni. Now, that changes my destiny. It changes it completely. That's why best not to have a birth certificate. Please don't. Don't even, seriously, it's best. And of course, there are a lot of reasons because why I'm saying this, being the cause of why I'm saying this. But I don't have a birth certificate. I don't even have a marriage certificate. But my school certificate has my name, and that has become my identity. Okay? And that has become, in a manner of speaking, a part of my destiny. Um, that is why I think when Ra says that our entire society, a social memory complex, has one name. All of us are called by the same name, Ra, because everybody's experience is going to be the similar. Everybody's nature is going to be similar. Everybody's character is going to be similar. There is going to be no ego because you are Ra, I am Ra, this one is Ra, that one is Ra, everybody is Ra. So, or if it's Kuo or Hathon or whatever. Why is there ego? Oh, my name is Ginni. My name is Sharma. My name is Vilas. My name is XYZ, whatever. Ego. That creates an ego. I, me, myself. That is why no two people are alike. How can two people be alike? Every day, at the same precise minute, maybe even at the same second, at least 5 children are born in the whole world. But those 5 children, or 50 children, or 500 children have different names. There are no two people who are born at the same minute or second and have the same name. Next to impossible. If there is, then that is a wonder of the God. For example, somebody born on a 22nd of August 1964 is named by the name Sunil Shah, and in another part of the world, another child is born on the same time, and named Sunil Shah. एग्जाम्पल दिया, ये पॉसिबिलिटी बहुत रेयर होगी. अगर होगी भी तो एस्ट्रोलॉजिकली the latitude and longitude of this person is going to be different from that person, which is going to change a lot of things basically in astrology, the nakshatras, which will change uh, the character and nature of the person, unless they are born in the same hospital at the same minute and given the same name, जो कभी होता नहीं. So their life story is never going to be the same. Two people, even if they are twins, mind you, because they have different names. That is why no two people ever exactly are alike. Each letter has its own number, each number has its own meaning. Now, when you say each letter has its own number, I'll give you an example. Gin, Gin, GIE, 795. Okay? GIE is 795. GIN or PRN, Prerna or something, PRN. P is also 7, but it is 16. R is also 9, but it is 18. N is also 5, but is 14. Not the same thing. Every number has its own vibration. It sounds different. So the musical vibration also changes. You have three main influences that vitally affect you. These are the life path, your expression number, and your soul urge. Now, what I have in the, I'll just get some water.